it's a bid down process. Now, whichever investor will take the lowest interest rate will be the winner.
Hi folks, my name is Sheldon, and today Ted Thomas, the Tax Lien Certificates and Tax Deed Authority, will be answering your questions about tax liens in Illinois. Ted, your team gathered these questions from Google, from Bing, and other social media platforms, and a lot of people want to know about Illinois. So let's get right into it, all right? All right, so we'll go with question one. This is from Candy from TikTok, Ted, and she's asking, how does a tax lien sale work in Illinois, and can you take us through the process?
Okay, well, in Illinois, they use tax lien certificates to start with, so it's a long process, but let me kind of condense it down so you get a general idea of what's going on. First of all the counties can sell tax lien certificates, and when they do, the treasurer sells the certificates, and it's a public auction. What do I mean public auction? That means anybody could attend the auction that wants to attend. Some auctioneers will require a rather lengthy registration period. Some auctioneers might require that you actually make a deposit ahead of time. So there'll be rules for the auction, all right? So I'm building up to what's really going on here. So what's going on is that the treasurer is going to auction off properties that are delinquent on their taxes. All right, now there's going to be thousands of these properties throughout the state that the people have not paid property tax. When they don't pay that, if they continue not to pay, they'll get a notice of default, maybe many notices of default, and then finally the treasurer will sell a tax lien certificate. And I said sell, but they sell them at auction. So it's a bidding process, starts at 18%, and then it works its way down. So that's a general idea of what takes place at a tax lien certificate auction.
Okay. I got one from Gwyneth from LinkedIn, Ted, and she's asking, are tax lien sales common in Illinois, and how often do they happen?
Okay, well, the state can start out whenever they want to sell tax lien certificates, but generally they'll sell them during the summer months, but they're common in all of the counties. So each county can have a tax lien certificate auction. They can do it when they want, but generally they do it the same time of year. So if they decide they're going to do them in September, well, then they'll do September, October, like that for a couple of months. Some counties will sell them all the time. You can always go in and buy tax liens. But basically, they're happening in all the counties throughout the state of Illinois.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, I got one here from Perez from YouTube, Ted, and he's asking, what happens to the property owner after a tax lien is sold? Do they lose their ownership?
Okay, well, the beauty of a tax lien certificate, whether it's in Illinois or any state, is that means to the public that the state is a benevolent state. Now, benevolent's my word. That's not a legal term. Benevolent simply means the state hasn't confiscated the properties. They're saying, all right, we're gonna sell a tax lien certificate. We're gonna get someone out here in the public. Someone out here is gonna pay your taxes. When they pay your taxes, what's going to happen is now the county has money to pay the sheriff and to pay the school teachers and pay the firefighters and so on. So now the county has the money they want. All right. When they started that sale and you bought the certificate, it starts a clock like the one in 60 Minutes going tick, tick, tick like that. You see it go around it. All right. It starts a clock, and that clock is the redemption period. So they allow up to 30 months to redeem one of these certificates. In other words, the property owner stays in the property. They're not affected in any way. They stay in the property. They got up to 30 months to pay those back taxes and the back interest. So that's a lengthy expression and letting you know what it is. But all the counties that sell tax lien certificates are really being benevolent and very nice to the property owner. When I say very nice, they're not kicking the property owner out. They don't put him out on the street. If you don't pay taxes, the local government has the power. They have the power to push you off the property and sell the property to the highest bidder.
Okay, so how long does the property owner have to redeem? How much time do they have, Ted?
They can pay the tax off anytime, and they can pay the interest off anytime. But basically, the longest is 30 months' time. They've got 24 to 30 months to pay it off. If they don't pay it off, that's when there's going to be problems, because if they don't pay, I can tell you right now, they're going to lose the property, and the state, the treasurer working for the state, is going to auction that property off to the highest bidder.
Okay. We've got one here from Lauren from Instagram, Ted, and she's asking, are there any restrictions on who can participate in a tax lien sale?
In Illinois and in all the states, anybody can participate in the auction, but there's going to be some qualifications. For example, when you get to the auction, or if you're going to do it online, you're going to have to register. And when you register, you're going to have to give them some information, maybe your driver's license, maybe your social security. They're going to ask you for deposits, things like that. So when I say anybody, that what I really mean is any member of the public, male or female, can do it. But keep in mind, if you go to an auction and you don't have money, you really have made a big mistake, because you're gonna have a sheriff visit with you. You need to make sure you have money when you go. So you need to qualify yourself for that auction.
Okay. I've got one here from Nolan from YouTube, Ted, and he's asking if you can explain the interest rates that are associated with the tax liens in Illinois, and how are they determined?
Illinois and any state, the rules are determined by the legislature of the state. So the legislature is formed by representatives, and they govern the state. In other words, they make the rules for the state, and one of the rules they make is everyone must pay taxes. So if they say you're going to have to pay taxes, now you could, if you didn't pay taxes, you're basically forfeiting your property. In Illinois, you don't forfeit the property. They're just going to simply say to you, you haven't paid your property tax, so we're going to issue a tax lien certificate. So that's where all the authority comes from. It comes from the legislature. That's moved down to the county commissioners and the board of supervisors. Those rules are then enforced at the local level by the board of supervisors and those commissioners. All right, so now you have rules. Now, the rules are going to state something different for each county. So we can't just use one rule. It's going to be good for the United States. Each county has its own rules. So they say, so let's say it was 18%. So the bidding could start at 18%. Then the next bid would be 17.5, 17, 16.5. In other words, it's a bid down process. Now, whichever investor will take the lowest interest rate, will be the winner. So it's a bid down interest rate. The investor that take the lowest will be the one that wins the tax lien certificate.
Okay, I got one here from Lynette from TikTok, Ted, and she's asking, are there any extra fees or costs associated with buying a tax lien in Illinois?
Well, in Illinois and every other state, every other government agency you're ever going to do, I can tell you there's going to be some extra fees. Now, if I name off a half a dozen, that's going to be enough, but you're kind of getting the idea. All right, so when you buy something from the government, they're going to tack on a fee to register it. They're going to tack on a fee for transferring it. They're going to tack on a fee for whatever. There could be all kinds of little fees. The point that the question comes up is, don't make your check for the exact amount, but then have some cash to be able to pay things off. That are going to be these little fees. You don't want to get all the way there. I mean, I've had clients show up at an auction, buy a property, and then they couldn't pay the transfer tax, and the state the auctioneer stopped the auction, and now the guy's going to lose out on because he did have an extra $40 with him or something like that. Don't work everything exact. Have some extra money with you. There's always going to be extra fees. I can assure you, in every state and every county will have something to add to it. That's the way they get their money.
Okay, that's good to know. I've got a good one here from Fernando. He's on LinkedIn, and he's asking, Ted, what tips would you give a beginner who is attending a tax lien auction for the first time in Illinois?
Okay, if you're going to an auction in Illinois or any state, whether it's a tax lien certificate auction or a tax defaulted property auction, those are my two specialties, and this applies to both of them. And it's simple as this. When you look up a tax lien or a tax deed, you're looking up a number. Every property's number. I'm going to reach over here, and I'm just going to grab a an auction list. This is a brand new auction list from Palm Beach County here in Florida. Going to be the same kind of list. You're going to find the same thing in Illinois. I'll just hold one up. Okay, I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. Okay, all right. It's hard to see, but it's even hard to see if you're here. Okay, this is going to be a tax lien. There's going to be thousands of tax lien certificates in here. Okay, the only piece of information that the county's giving you, I'm going to give you the same piece right now. You could just open this up, and you could go here and you see there's a number. And that number is the property number. And just like you have a social security number, every property has a number. So just like you're unique, your fingerprints are different, your eyes are different, your face is different. Okay, you're a different person. Every property is a different entity. All right, now, so now you know how the list works. So that's pretty simple. However, what people don't do is they go to this list and they say, oh, here's a list for $500. That's the one I want. And so I bid on 777 for $500. Okay, and I bid 18%. And the auctioneer says, sold. Now you own that certificate, right? Now what did you buy? Folks, you wouldn't marry the woman if you didn't see her. Ladies, I know you'd be smart enough not to marry the guy without seeing him. Why would you buy something without seeing it? It doesn't matter whether it's a tax lien certificate or a tax defaulted property. People are doing it by the thousands. Now, what if that was a beautiful property, but it was located in a location where no one would ever go because it was a war zone? You know, when people want bags in their hands with bottles sticking out of them, and there was cans burning and things like that. You would not want to buy there. All right, you got to look at what you're going to buy. All right, so you asked me, do I have tips? There's a tip. It's going to save your assets.
Save your assets. Okay. Well, Ted, that's all the questions I have.
And before you go, let me tell you, when you go down below, what you're going to do is you're going to get the key to the vault. The key to the vault is this. The auction calendar and the interactive map are going to show you where the tax defaulted auctions are, and they're also going to show you where the tax lien certificate. They're going to show you how many properties there are, how many tax lien certificates. It's the key to the vault. It's what you really want to know. It's right below. There's a demo.
And don't forget to like, share, and comment below. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.